prevention of these injuries rather than the treatment. As you can see here, these are some of the most common injuries in sports. Now today I'm not going to go into every single one of these and into every single detail, because we would be here for a while. However, I will be going into ankle sprains and concussions because I feel that these are the ones that need to be addressed the most. So first, ankle sprains. Before I even got into the ISM program, I knew that I would be focusing on ankle sprains. Throughout the past couple of years, I've seen many different teammates and friends fall to this injury. There are more than 25,000 ankle sprains a day, and usually in sports such as basketball and volleyball. Ankle sprains result from stretching or tearing of the ligament of the ankle, which in turn is caused by sudden movements from a set position and landing on uneven surfaces. Ankle sprains are a very diverse injury. They range from very mild to very severe. The more severe the injury is, the more time and more treatment will be needed for the athlete to heal. One of the main points I want to highlight here is that recurring ankle sprains get progressively worse. First off, the likeliness of an athlete to get an ankle sprain will increase as he or she gets an ankle sprain. The more ankle sprains you receive, the more likely you are to get another one. Recurring ankle sprains have devastating effects on an athlete, especially athletes who are in more professional leagues or are playing at a high level. For example, these negative effects include a loss of balance. When you're walking on uneven ground, we don't have to look at where we're walking to gauge our sense of position. We know that we can tell where the ground is uneven without directly putting all of our attention on it. Second, the need for repeated surgery. Ankle sprains are known to be a non-surgical injury. No one gets an ankle sprain and the first time they automatically go to an orthopedic surgeon for a surgery. However, repeated ankle sprain can cause the ligament to completely tear, being unable to be healed, and in turn will need surgery. The last thing and the most important of recurring ankle sprains is that if an athlete has too many ankle sprains, they can completely lose the ability to play in their sport. And that's something I definitely do not want to see happening. In essence, I want to help athletes get back on their feet after falling. The second injury I will be talking about today is concussions. As many of you know, high contact sports such as football and hockey are constantly growing in popularity. And with this popularity, their side effects are becoming more and more obvious. One of the biggest side effects of football is concussions. There are more than 300,000 sports-related concussions annually. Concussions usually result from direct blows to the brain and to the head. Oftentimes in football, two players may have direct head-to-head contact with their helmets. Or in hockey, when two players slam into the wall. These injuries can cause brain damage, memory loss, and possible permanent brain damage. In a recent study, 96% of NFL players coming out of the NFL showed signs of brain disease. The thing about concussions is, first off, they're hard to identify. Oftentimes, an athlete may get a concussion without even realizing it. And the problem is that the second hit can be much worse than the first hit. Secondly, concussions will be a very difficult issue to tackle, pun intended. Due to the fact that, as I said earlier, football is an American institution. When you think America, you think, bald eagles, freedom, football. And many people have incorporated this tradition into their lives. Not only that, corporations, part of the NFL, gain profit, gain money, and there's a monetary aspect that cannot be undervalued. Even though this will be a difficult issue and injury to tackle, I will continue to remain focused and undeterred in my efforts. I know that any small program or any small awareness that I cause, even in the local Frisco area, could be the spark necessary to ignite a flame at the state and even national level. Now I'm going to move on from the research I've been gaining from assessments into the research I've gained from interviews. I'm sure that many of you agree with me when I say that spending 30 to 45 minutes with a professional can be almost equivalent to or even more than the amount of information you'll get from a research assessment. Furthermore, I've found that each professional I interview, though they may have some unique traits, they have common goals that make me rekindle my interest in sports medicine. So the first interview I had was with an orthopedic surgeon named Dr. Sean Haslam at Texas Ortho Partners. And quite honestly, it was the most traumatizing experience of ISM I've had so far. I got into the first interview, and I was ready to go. And I had to wait an hour and 30 minutes for him to come out. And I was off my game. I was stumbling on the questions, and in all honesty, I was asking the wrong questions. However, Dr. Haslam was still able to give me amazing advice. Dr. Haslam is a team doctor, meaning he treats injuries for the local high school teams. And he also gave me advice about the importance of balance and family. Oftentimes, professionals don't just give you advice specifically about your field, but also how to conduct yourself, how to perform successfully in your work environment. And the one thing he told me is the importance of family. Dr. Haslam has 2 kids, and he told me that regardless of all the distractions of work, regardless of all the surgeries, he always makes sure that his kids are an essential and integral part of his life. The second interview I had went much better, thankfully, and I learned from the mistakes that I made in my first interview. It was with another orthopedic surgeon named Dr. Dominique Nixon at Next Step Orthopedics. Dr. Nixon was a very laid-back personality. However, he's very efficient. He started out with nearly no patients, and now he has 4,000. And he had a drive that really attracted me to him. The first piece of advice that he told me was to keep an open mind. He started out as a pediatrician, and while in medical school, the 2 decades or so I have ahead of me, unfortunately, he realized that orthopedics was for him. He also emphasized the importance of your peers and colleagues, such as yourselves. The people that you surround yourself with are going to be the ones that make you who you are, even at this high school level and even as we go through college. Lastly, Dr. Nixon was able to give me the feedback that I needed to specify and clarify my original work. He told me that there are going to be countless of different companies, countless of different millionaires with lots of time and lots of energy to always make products. I was originally set on making a new kind of brace, but after interviewing with Dr. Nixon, he made me realize that there are always going to be companies making these products. Why not make a program instead? And that's why I'm interested, rather than making any product that someone else could make, I'm going to focus on making an ankle sprain awareness program. I'd like to close with this. My quote for this ISM year comes from Kevin Durant, the Slim Reaper himself and one of my biggest role models. Kevin Durant once said, "Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard." I've never considered myself to be a talented individual, not in sports, and especially not in school. However, this mindset has never held me back. Rather, it has pushed me to be a diligent worker and be someone who is proud of my work ethic. I know that when surrounded by competitive and driven individuals such as yourselves, I will flourish. We have a long way to go before final presentation night, but I look forward to not only learning from, but competing with each and every one of you as we each find our unique paths to success.